Welcome, Bronco Nation, to a very exciting video. Today, I have George Holani, career running back at Boise State, who has just completed an incredible legacy at Boise State and is now getting ready to move on to bigger and better things. He's generously agreed to come on today, talk a little bit about his own personal time at Boise State, his experience of this incredible last season that Boise State managed to go and win a Mountain West Championship game, their first Mountain West Championship win since 2019, and what that meant for the program, and then talk a little bit about what's ahead for himself and what this team is looking forward to next year. So, George, it's great to have you here. You are one of the career running backs at Boise State. When you look at the statistics, your overall total rushing numbers are fifth all-time, 3,596 yards rushing, just behind greats like Jay Ajayi, Brock Forsey, Ian Johnson, Cedric Minter. You average 5.2 yards per carry, 26 touchdowns. You had 15 games of 100-plus yards, which was also good enough for fifth overall in the record books. You had 777 yards receiving. Nice job getting that nice little 777 number across the board. Well planned. 8 touchdowns in that. And then your all-purpose numbers, over 4,000 yards rushing, receiving combined, 4,373 yards, just barely inching out Jeremy Avery, another all-time great at Boise State. And that puts you in the league with, amongst the guys we've already mentioned, guys like Mick Nichols, Titus Young, Alexander Madison, and another previous guest on this channel, David Michael. Outstanding career, 34 touchdowns overall. What was it like playing at Boise State as far as some of the expectations that were put on you as a Boise State running back and the experience that you had?
I mean, it was an awesome experience just to be a part of, the Bronco family, and just coming in as a freshman and being able to play on that blue field. I mean, it meant a lot to me. That's one of the biggest reasons I honestly went to Boise State, was because of the blue field. And I love, everything about the city of Boise, and the coaches, my teammates there, everything. It's just the atmosphere I was in. It was a place where I was able to just, be myself and just be able to just strive.
You mentioned the blue turf. You mentioned the Boise State family. You mentioned the players that you got to play with. What was that recruiting process like coming to Boise State? Was that a school that was on your radar early on? How did you end up coming here? And what did the recruiting staff emphasize when they were trying to draw you in?
I mean, honestly, I've never been to the city of Boise before I even committed. So it was a crazy experience. I ended up committing really late. The schools that before Boise was either Oregon or Utah, and I ended up just waiting it out. And it was crazy because my dad really loved Stanford at the time. He really wanted me to be at Stanford, with the best education and everything. And Stanford ended up not offering at all. So I ended up committing really, really late, and it just came down to my decision. My parents fully supported wherever I went. And I prayed about it, and I just felt like Boise was the right place for me. And that was through the coaches at the time. It was Brian Harsin and Lee Marks, who were really heavily recruiting me. And I just felt like it was right just to go to Boise, especially with the running backs they've produced in previous years. They've a lot of productive running backs coming from Boise. And really just praying about it. I finally made my decision on my own. I ended up calling Coach Harsin, and I was actually on my way back from school. I was on a train when I actually committed to Boise State. But it was awesome. And, I told my parents, I told my dad first, yeah, I'm going to Boise State. And then he was like, "Where's that at?" And I'm like, "It's in Idaho." He's like, "Idaho? There's nothing in Idaho. It's only potatoes and stuff like that." I was like, well, where I'm going to be at my next, 3 to 5 years. So, yeah, honestly, it was a blessing. And then once I got to Boise with my family, I mean, they loved everything about it.
What is it that the coaches emphasized that makes Boise special when they're in a recruit's living room, when they're talking to them on the phone, and they're trying to convince you to come to a place that, some people may never heard of, all they think about is potatoes? What are they emphasizing to you that's drawing you in and perking your interest to come to a school like Boise State?
I mean, just the culture and just being able to, be all in, buy in when you're a freshman. You got to really um, get like that schedule, whether it's your school schedule and then workouts and then, just being able to buy in every day, give it your best, and just be, the best you can, just show up with attitude and effort. That's all you needed every day as a freshman. And the main thing for me was not being overwhelmed, like, just taking it one day at a time and just getting used to the process and being able to trust it. I think the main thing, like as a freshman, was um, just being able to understand the culture, what we're about, the traditions, and how things were done around there. So really, just the standard, and then I would say also just how we carry ourselves on and off the field. I mean, everything we do is blue collar. Everything we work for everything we have. It's um, never given, it's always earned. And then, just knowing the separation is in the prep. So just being able to go out there and, put our heads down and go to work. And those are even the older guys back then, all the vets, they came out like they're freshmen and they were working their tails off every day. So that was something I found really like surprising. Like, damn, they really been doing that thing for like 4 to 5 years, 4 to 6, like however long those guys are getting after it. So I just love like, the working environment I was able to just drive in and just be a part of.
You mentioned it already. Obviously, blue collar. Boise State puts that on the collars of their jerseys. It's something that the program builds its pride around. There's been a lot of discussion about whether or not Boise State, with its rising financial resources and some of the higher profile recruits that are coming in, whether or not they're truly still blue collar. What would you answer to that? Obviously, blue collar was emphasized at Boise State. Would you still say that Boise State is blue collar, and what does blue collar mean to you?
I mean, yeah, blue collar is, it's never given, it's always earned. You come in and day out, ready to work. You're never satisfied. You're never complacent. You're always striving to get better. You're always striving to do your job and be reliable for the team. I mean, especially Boise State players in previous years, they're known just to be, 0 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars. Like those are the guys, like, the coaches go out and like, they see potential in those guys. And then after bringing those guys and recruiting them in, those guys are able to strive because, they come in with the mentality just to get better each day. And, that's who's like Boise State. We've always been known as like the underdogs, but we really developed that and just kind of like, you know, took that and really ran with it, honestly, because we have a lot of guys who really come, into the program, buy in, and they're able to make like an immediate impact. And then, yeah, I would say it's different now. I mean, today you see recruiting and stuff and how everything is like we got transfer portal guys, 5 stars, 4 stars, like guys from everywhere. So it's really exciting how the Broncos going to look this upcoming year for sure.
You talk about the players that Boise State has helped develop in the past and that expectation that nothing's given, everything earned. And you're coming into the program as a running back that, as you pointed out, has a long history of running backs. And that 2019 season, that freshman season, you got the unique distinction of being the 11th straight Boise State running back to have over 1,000 yards rushing in a season, achievement that you would unlock twice in your career at Boise State. Just talk a little bit about that if you can. Living up to some of those giants of the past. We've already mentioned them. The Averys, the Martins, the Ian Johnsons, the DJ Harpers, the Alexander Madisons. These guys. Does that legacy, is that something that you're aware of when you step out on the field, when you're training? Are you aware of what these guys have done in the past, and how does that pressure motivate you to perform and be better?
I mean, honestly, it was really surprising for me as a freshman, just being able to come in and have that much impact. And I never knew I was going to rush for 1,000. It was never in my mind, ever to like keep count of, rushing yards or any of that. The main thing for me, it was just like, all right, go out there, perform for my team, try to just do my job to my best of my ability. And then, it ended up stacking up. And then next thing you know, they're like, oh, you only need like, 50 yards to have 1,000 yards. So yeah, we're gonna. I'm like, what? That's crazy. I never knew that. So, um, obviously it's a blessing just to have, what you say, 11th straight year.
11th straight. Yeah, 11 straight.
So 11 straight. And then the next year it was the COVID year. So, that happened. And then also with injuries as well. But I think it was just awesome just to be a part of that, especially coming in as freshman. I learned that, Boise State, we take pride in our run game, and everything we do, it starts with, how physical we are in the trenches. And, my freshman year, we had a lot of dogs on that O line. I mean, we had Garrett Larson, Eric Covedo, we had John Motron, Ezra Cleveland, OJ Simpson. Like, we had guys. I mean, some of those guys is in the league right now. So we had guys who had that mentality in the trenches where they're really physical. Like up front, we would always run the ball, and like we let teams know like we were here. But it was also, exciting, like just from the running back perspective. In our running back room, we also had Robert Mahomes, Andrew Van Buren, me, Danny Smith, like a lot of guys in that stable who were really, talented as well. So those were guys, who also took me in, and who I looked up to. So it was awesome just being a part of all of that for sure.
You talked a little bit about that COVID season and about injuries and how you overcame those. You overcame those injuries to have a 2022 season where you put up over 1,000 yards rushing, and then this season, obviously, are injuries early on, but then you ended super strong. 4 100+ yard all-purpose games to end the year. Can you talk a little bit about how your own personal process and how you overcame some of those struggles and challenges and those injuries to still have the career that you had at Boise State? I mean, not to mention 3 different head coaches, I believe 5 different offensive coordinators. There was a lot thrown at you, and you still ended up being one of the top 5 running backs of all time at Boise State. Can you talk a little bit about how you overcame those struggles to have the career you did?
I think the main thing for me was just being able just to stay positive and just find out ways. I had my family back home who was always encouraging and always making sure I was good. I also had teammates who was always checking up on me. And I think that's the biggest thing, just being able to take care of my mental. Just because, a lot of guys, they fall out of love with this game because of injuries. I've heard stories from players who, they've never watched a football game. They don't even watch NFL or college games anymore since they played football. So, guys fall out of love just because the injury part, which sucks. That's probably one of the – so there's 2 things that suck in football, which is injuries and losing. And I would say the biggest thing for me was just finding ways just to stay, find little things throughout my day just to stay joyful, which was, being around my teammates, finding another way where I can, stay, useful in myself, especially as, injured player. You go to college to be on the field, not to be on the sideline, watching. So I think the main thing was just being able to help the younger guys out. And yeah, being able to be impactful, whether it was in the running back room, helping, guys figure out plays, whatever, reads, pass protection, or even in the community. I had a lot of time off, so I was over there doing a lot of community service as well, just helping out with that as well. So no, it was awesome experience. I think another thing for me was just my faith, being able to just, read the Bible every day and just, find things that can relate to me, or just trying to be patient for real.
You talk about finding those little moments of positive and finding ways to overcome the challenges and the losses. And obviously this season, especially early on, those losses were mounting a little bit. Now moving a little bit, talking about that 2023 year, how did the team continue to believe that a Mountain West Championship game was achievable all year? I mean, at one point, Boise State was sitting at 4-5. They still had to go out and play New Mexico, Utah State, Air Force. And Boise State was sitting there at a point where they may not even make a bowl game. Did you as a team still believe that Mountain West Championship game was something that you would achieve? or was it trying to find those little positives to keep on pushing?
I mean, yeah, at first, after the Fresno State loss, we're kind of like, like what's gonna go on. And we're kind of like unsure. A lot of people just not quite sure. We had guys who left. We had guys, we had coaching exchanges. Like there was it was really hectic for us, just that that part of the season where, once Coach D kind of stepped in, he was like, all right, we're gonna just give him 2 weeks, that's all he wanted. Because it was really like, he would say like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever is promised, because those are the only games that was promised for us. So we just really like locked in and dialed in like one game at a time. Like, we're not guaranteed no other game, but, we got to go one game at a time. And when we did that, everything just, planned out. It was really, God's plan because, the script, they played in our favor. And all the cards, there was teams that lost, like Fresno lost back to back to back games after that. And it's like, dang, like anything really could happen. So we're still in this. So I think the main thing for us was just taking it one game at a time, just staying together, as a group. And that was the main thing after that. But yeah.
Obviously, that was a point of turbulence, like you said. Andy Avalos left. Spencer Danielson came in. You guys, you were sitting at 5-5 after the New Mexico game, but you said only 2 games were promised after that. How did you come together as a team in that locker room to rally to where Boise State ended up finishing the season? Who stood out in that locker room as a leader or leaders that helped push you guys to this end of the season? And how did you guys come together to accomplish that end goal?
I mean, honestly, this team this past year was really it was really different. I would say the coaches, they just kept us positive and they were always keeping us updated. But I really feel like this was like a player-led team. There was a lot of guys. We had captains, obviously DJ and Riley Smith, who everyone looked up to, but we also had a lot of players like within the senior group who also voiced a lot of like opinions, which everyone respected. That was the main thing. I think a lot of these players really cared about one another, and they really, they respected one each other. Like that was through the relationships built over there, and everyone just felt like, after one game, just controlling what we can control.
Obviously, Spencer Danielson has made a lot of headlines. He came in, he took over this program, worked with the players to get you guys to a Mountain West Championship game and then to the LA Bowl. And then he's done a lot recently in the recruiting portal as well. What kind of role did he play in turning this team around and helping getting you guys back on track? You talked about the role of the players and the locker room coming together, but what kind of presence and energy did Spencer Danielson bring to help facilitate you guys and put you in the best position to go out and win?
I mean, yeah, Coach D is awesome. He understands the players and what needs to happen for us, just to feel good. For us to feel good and, be our best on the field. I mean, the main thing we took away as a team that he said to us was just being able to play fast, play smart, and play together.
What kind of leader would you say that he is? If you had to describe his leadership characteristics and qualities, what kind of leader would you say he is?
I mean, he's upfront, he's fearless, and he's caring. He's that type of guy. Honestly, like, whatever our opinion as a player is, like, he really understands what needs to be done in order for guys to go out and, be their best. And, he truly listens to his players and just being able to just understand how we feel and then being able to like adjust.
I understand that the players had a major role in voicing their opinions about who they wanted to take over, and Spencer Danielson was their guy. And obviously, those opinions were listened to, and that's not something that happens at every school. There's a lot of schools where outside factors, the boosters, all those other guys, they tend to play a little heavier role. What did it mean for you guys as a team to have the leadership of the university listen to you and put the person that you guys were pushing for at the head of your helm?
I mean, it was actually an awesome opportunity just for the leadership group, all the older guys just to go in and, have that chance just to voice our opinions about Coach D to Jeremiah JD. So he's a really cool dude. He just being able to take time out of his day just to come sit in the office and just listen to players talk. And obviously all of us we vouch for Coach D, and we understand like the type of person he is, and what he will do for this program. And that was the main thing, just being able to build that, like, have that relationship with him. And just knowing it comes from a place of love and care. Coach D, he's a guy who truly honestly loves all his players, and you hear from everyone. They say, oh, I will run through a wall for Coach D. And you hear that from every player, because it's true. When you have players who love the culture and the atmosphere, about everything about the coaches and how they do things, they'll really buy into that stuff. And I've seen it. I've seen guys who like really love showing, coming to the facility, and they're happy to be there. That's where you want to be in. That's the type of coaches you want to be around.
Personally, I'm hoping that next season, at the start of all the Boise State games, they put up a brick wall for the players to run through, because you have heard that so many times. The players, the coaches saying that they would run through a wall for Coach D. Well, I love to hear about what you guys did this season, because it really was an exceptional year. I mean, there was a point there where it looked like it may go down in a historic way, in a not so great way, but it ended up turning things around, becoming a historic season for Boise State that a lot of people will remember for a very long time. Before we move into kind of talking about what's ahead for this program, can you talk a little bit about what this season meant for you and the team? Sitting there at the Mountain West Championship game, it's all over, the confetti's flying, you've won the Mountain West Championship game, to overcome so many hurdles as a program, as a team together, to pull yourselves together and do that. Can you describe what that emotion, what that feeling was like for you and the program to be able to do that?
I mean, it meant a lot to me. It meant the world to me, honestly. Just coming back in 2023 and winning the Mountain West Championship, especially, the way how 2022 went, and we didn't get the job done. We went to the championship and lost. So yeah, we're watching another team celebrate on our field, like at our home field, and they're holding up the trophy and stuff. So like, you just gotta like remember those times. And like for me, it was coming back one more year and getting like, playing for a ring, playing for something, bigger than myself. And that was come back and as a senior, get my degree, get a ring, and just be able to just enjoy those times. I mean, this championship meant everything for me, and the team as well. Like mainly, I would say, for the seniors as well too, because this is their last year. It's really, how do you guys want to like we talk about legacy? How do you want to be remembered? And that my senior class, like it was crazy how her story was written, and it's really like a happy ending out of like in a book, like something never goes your way and ends up, everything works out for for the best. And yeah, it's all glory to God for sure.
It really was an incredible year, a Cinderella ending that nobody really expected to end the way that everything did. And now the team has built a lot of momentum that is now setting them up in the media cycles and in the city of Boise, among the fan base, setting them up for what could be a very, very exceptional year here in 2024. There are a lot of high expectations in all those circles that I just mentioned for what this team may be able to go out and accomplish in 2024. And this year, the seniors have played such an important role in building this team and bringing them to what they were able to do. And now it's the time for some of these younger guys to take over and have that leadership role. Who stood out to you this season that you think will have a big impact either on the field or in the locker room, guiding this team towards a successful year in 2024?
I mean, I can name a ton of guys that stood out. But obviously, my guy Ashton, he's what the hype is about, what everyone, I'm all about it, man. I'm supporting everything, about Boise State football and run game, and how he performed this past year. I mean, it was awesome. Like being able to, was 1,800 all purpose.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, there. But being able just to step up and have that role where, he has to have an immediate, impact and be able to just, do his job. Our offense really heavily relied on him this past year, within the run and pass game. And I think he really did a great job. Another couple guys I'll say, we have Latrell Capel is coming back, receiver. He's going to be healthy. We have Austin Bolt back out there flying around. We have a great O-line up front. Mason Randolph, he's over there doing his thing. Roger, he's an upcoming lineman. And then obviously, Mad Dog being able to be healthy, we've seen what he could do when he's healthy. So, that quarterback competition in there is going to be really good in there. So I trust, Coach D to make the right decision, and just be able to have those guys come out and lead this year. Is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'll correct myself. It was 1,916 total all-purpose yards for Genty, number 2 in the nation returning for this 2024 season. And I think if he doesn't have a couple of games where he's hurt a little bit, I think he's clearing away number 1 for sure. And I'm excited. I mean, that Heisman campaign that Boise State is putting out, I've only seen a couple of times where they have really put out. I mean, Ian Johnson and Kellen Moore were really the only 2 that I've seen that they put out those Heisman flags for. And Ashton Genty, the Heisman campaign is in full swing. Obviously we want that to happen. I think at the end of the year, he's going to deserve that to happen. Do you think that he has a legitimate shot at getting that Heisman trophy?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I've been supporting my guys. Like, hey, I'm gonna need one of them shirts for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been it out. And it's an awesome opportunity just for him to come in another year and just, perform like hopefully have a better year than last year. It's hopefully he's able to just stay healthy. That's the main thing. Especially as a running back, you want to stay healthy and make sure your legs are good. I know the coaching staff, strength staff, medical staff, they're all going to make sure he's good to go. Once the time comes, he's going to turn it up.
At other schools, other programs, there may be a sense of rivalry between 2 players of elite stature like you and Genty. But watching you guys out there, it really seemed like you guys were brothers, that you were each trying to make the other one better. And then obviously with your injuries this year, you got to spend some time helping him and helping coach him in an unofficial capacity. Can you talk a little bit about your guys' relationship and how you each have made each other better throughout the years you've played together so far?
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely helped me a lot. Just being able, for me, like if I was ever tired or I needed a breath, he can come in and perform. And that was, it was the other way around as well, where like he was out there and I can come in and play. But, for me as a senior, I'm a team player. So, I don't care, who's out there. I just want to go out there and win. And then whenever, my opportunity comes, I'm ready to go. So, it takes a lot of humility in this game. And you see at other schools, there's probably running backs who are always going at it, and one of them end up transferring or something just because he's not getting as much playing time. But I think, how like the culture is at Boise State and how things are done, you have guys who really like care about each other and who want to come in and, do anything to win. That's the type of team and that's the type of, traditions we had. So, it was awesome just to have, Ashton back there in the backfield. I think it was a blessing, just to have him there. And, yeah.
It's going to be really tough not seeing the 1-2 Holani Genty punch next year. I mean, we have, as a fan base, have been incredibly blessed to be able to watch you guys both go out there and perform. The only other time I can really remember of Boise State having a stable of running backs of the caliber that they've had while you and Genty have been there would be maybe the 2009, 2010, DJ Harper, Doug Martin, Jeremy Avery stable and what they were able to accomplish. So it is going to be incredible watching Ashton Genty do what he does. And there are some great guys that are going to be coming alongside him for 2024. But it is going to be tough not to see you out there. But hopefully that's because we get to see you playing on Sundays instead. But the playoffs this year, we talk about Genty, we talk about the wide receiver room, we talk about this quarterback competition, and I'm putting it out there. I've said multiple times, I am so excited about Nelson and what he's going to bring as a 5-star and his Power 5 experience at USC. But do not count Mad Dog Maddox out. That guy is a true blue competitor. He is a absolute classic OKG who plays beyond his stature, and it is going to be a battle between those two. And whoever comes out of the top is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the group of 5 this year. So Boise State has a lot of strength. One of the best special teams units. Jonah Dalmes and James Ferguson Reynolds out there. The offense, the defense returns almost everybody this year. There's a lot of players, and you don't often hear this at Boise State, but they are talking about the championship and the playoffs as their goal. I mean, Ahmad Hassanin is out there on interviews saying that he wants to go out as a champion and go to the playoffs. The team, do you believe that the playoffs are the goal for this program right now?
I mean, I think, that's like always a standard. We always want to be our best and obviously get into the playoffs. But as a player, like we don't focus about no playoffs and none of that. We're really let's just focus on our strength of our schedule and let's win out one game at a time. And then once we get there, maybe we can talk about it. But I think the main thing is it goes off strength of schedule. I mean, we've seen it, this past year with Florida State. They went undefeated all year and still couldn't go to the playoffs. So I think the main thing is just, winning the games that we need to win against our probably tougher opponents. I'm not quite sure who we have this, but
Georgia Southern, Oregon State, and then Washington State, and then the rest of the Mountain West schedule.
Oh yeah, so that would be good as well. Like that Oregon game, Oregon State, like those Pac-12, those teams right there, or used to be Pac-12. But being able to win those games out, I think that really can dictate like how everything will play out for sure.
What will you miss most? Before we start talking a little bit about the last question here of what is next for you, as a final reflection, your time at Boise State, what will you miss most at Boise State?
The thing I'll miss most, probably just the relationships I built in the locker room. The locker room talks, everything, like how everyone is just, so openly like free about everything, like how they communicate and talk. It's just, cherishable moments. I would also say the food spots out there. I miss my the old crab Cajun food over there. I would always hit that spot up. But yeah, I would miss everything about it. I mean, being able to just go out there, play those games, like, and win them, those moments, are always cherishable. And I will also say the coaches as well. I'll miss all those coaches, like every relationship at Boise State, with the coaches, the players, and even the fans. We have the best fans ever, who always come out, support no matter what. They're always there. They're going to show up deep, and we're continue to, break those numbers and, sell out games. So hopefully we can continue to sell out games this year, and it's going to be exciting for, Bronco Nation and how everything is going to go, especially with our new field and stadium coming soon. I mean, everything's going to be exciting.
You see a lot of former Boise State players end up back in the Boise area, after a long and successful NFL career and whatever else is beyond. Is this a place you see yourself coming back to, and maybe either just as a living or maybe in a coaching capability? Do you ever see yourself being associated with the program in the future?
I mean, for sure. Yeah, that's why I honestly stayed at Boise State. There was definitely teams trying to get me to transfer a couple, like years and years. And I was like, no, I love it here. I love everything about Boise. The people, everyone's just so nice. So I definitely did want to stay just because how everything about, Boise is, and I love everything. Hopefully one day I can have a vacation spot out there and just, and relax. And, Boise is always my second home. So I would say it's a blessing just to be a part of that family. And yeah.
Well, if you're going to buy that vacation home, you might want to do it soon with the way the real estate market is going. But uh, talking about what is next here for you. Obviously, you've had an incredible career at Boise State, but this is not the end. This is just the beginning of a new step for you as you head up towards that professional level. So, can you talk a little bit about what's next for you here and kind of what you're doing to set yourself up for that all important draft day? You had the Hula Bowl game. You had a great performance in that. I wasn't able to find any official numbers, but I went through and I watched it, and I create anybody that wants to see George's performance in the Hula Bowl. I made a little highlight reel of that. It's on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description. So from my own mathematical, just kind of looking at what you did, it looked like you had about 8 runs for 53 yards and 2 catches for 8 yards. Does that jive with kind of what you were aware of for it?
Yeah, for sure, for
It's
sure.
pretty close. So anyhow, 2 runs of 16 plus yards. The announcers were very hyped on what you were doing out there. I'm sure that you dealt with a lot of scouts while you were going through that process. What was that like, going to the Hula Bowl and the preparation, and then going out in an all-star game and performing and getting to talk to GM reps of future teams? What was that process like for you, getting to go out and do that?
No, it was pretty awesome. Just that experience, just being able to come out to Orlando and um, just be able to just talk to scouts and stuff, talk to coaches, and be able to just adapt to a new playbook. On my first day here, they threw me like a playbook that's had quite a couple of plays. They had I don't know, probably around 20 plays, 20 plays to learn on the first day, and you're
Oh,
just out trying to run plays and stuff. So, I mean, it's a quick adjustment, but it's nothing crazy for me, especially having 5 offensive coordinators. I'm just like adjusting to new playbooks every year and stuff. So it was an awesome experience. And then being able to be around other running backs and get to build relationships with them and talk about their experience at their colleges. And there was also a running back from Memphis. His name is Blake Watson. He was on my team, and I was chopping it up with him and stuff. And I was letting him know. I was like, "Hey, that was a fumble on the goal line, right?" He was like, "He was like,
yes.
yeah." So hey, I was like, I was just letting you know, but good stuff. But nah, it's awesome just to come out and compete against guys from honestly every school. Like there was a lot of guys from different schools. We had a guy who literally flew up from after the championship game with Michigan and Washington. There was a guy who literally, one of the D linemen, he came up to the Hula Bowl and played in the game from. I'm like, bro, how you even playing this game? Aren't you sore? He's like, yeah, I'm sore. I'm really sore. Like I can do it, bro. I mean, I wasn't trying to like do this much reps, but it was good to come out and just get the reps in and talk to the scouts. But yeah, I sat out there probably for like from the first day I interviewed, it was probably like I would say 5 hours of interviews with scouts. The next day
Wow.
was like 3 hours, and the following day was like 2 hours. But it was a lot of interview questions, and it was pretty cool though. Just like everything that was going on. I mean, we had a lot of good gear. I had family um, from Pensacola who actually drove down to Orlando. That was like a 6 hour drive. That was pretty good. I had my parents out there. Um, well, I came, my dad, and then a family friend, and yeah, my lady came down, and they were all there supporting me, and no, it was just an awesome experience. After that, right now, after that, I flew out to where I'm training at, which I'm at right now. I'm in Pensacola, Florida, with Exos, just training out here, making sure everything's good. And yeah, I mean, I got a call from the East West Shrine Bowl game, and I talked with my agent about it, like, should I play in it? Like, should I not? He's like, nah, bro, you good. Like, you just played a whole like tackle football game, but like you don't need to like go out game. Unless it's like some like, a senior bowl like the Reese's ever called, then yeah, that would be good to just go out there and play in front of those coaches. So I mean, yeah, other than that, I've been, training, getting my body right. I feel really good right now. So it's really exciting just to see, how my testing numbers are and getting ready for, combine, pro day, whatever it is, come my way. But nah, it's gonna be awesome.
For somebody who's never been through that process of being looked at by an NFL team, what are those? What is those interview questions like? Without giving any secrets away, but what is that interview process like? I mean, what do they try? Obviously, they have all your stats, your measurables. They probably, I assume, they have all your tape as well. So, what are they trying to find out from you in that interview process?
They want to find out your background, like really, where you're from, where you're born, how many parents, like were you raised with both parents, like how many siblings you have. They want to also find out like injuries. They'll find out injuries, background, and then they'll ask about film, like football IQ, whatever it is. They'll ask about everything. I mean, they know a lot of stuff. And, here's the thing I learned like during that process, like, the scouts know the answers to everything. They just want to see what you're gonna say. So, yeah, but it's been a really awesome, process where here also as well, there was also so they set us up with like people who help us out with the Wonderlic test. They also help us out with interview questions here. And I learned a lot of things, like a lot of new things I never knew about. Like, for example, one of the questions is like, it's like, all right, do you like to win or do you hate to lose? And then they ask you the right question. Like ideally somebody would say, I love to win because, winning feels good. But they really want to like, oh no, I hate to lose. Like they want those players like just to see how, they respond from a loss and just being able to like, what do you hate about losing? Oh, I hate everything about losing. Like, like I hate when guys is over there talking, like, after the game we lost, guys is over there laughing, like, stuff like that, little things like that. It's just like they ask random questions, like, and I think it definitely helped that I came here and answered more. Like I learned like from, a GM who told us about interviews, the whole thing, like how you want to answer these questions. That definitely helped a lot. But yeah, moving forward, I definitely can answer some questions pretty easier now.
What is that? You said you're here in Pensacola doing the training and going through the process of preparing for that next level. Walk us through kind of what you're going through, like what a day in the life of Holani training for the NFL looks like. What does that regime look like? What are they trying specifically to build up in you to get you ready for that next level?
I mean, yeah, wake up 8 o'clock. I'm at the facility by around probably 8:30 ish, eating breakfast. So there's four groups, and I'm in the second group, which is linebackers, running backs. That's pretty much it. But yeah, eat breakfast around like 8:30. Then I go stretch, and then I get ready for movement, which is at 9 o'clock. So movement is like learning differently. Different days is different things. So like, on a Monday is a top end speed. And yeah, so Monday will be like a top end speed. So we go to another field, we're running, working on technique, fundamentals, and angles of running, how to push out faster, how to start faster, making sure there's no wasted movements within the 40, 2 point stance, get off, 3 point stance, get off. And after that, the movement, we're then going into our mobility stretch session. So after that, we head back to the facility because we have two fields. And then we head back to the facility. We're stretching, making sure we're getting after our stretch session, we get our protein, our shakes. They make 2 shakes a day. So after that, we go eat our lunch at like 11. So yeah, so movement and stretch session is probably from 9 to like 11-ish. So after that, we're gonna go eat lunch, and then we have probably around 2 hours from. Actually, we have 3 hours off. So 11, 12, 1. So in that time, you can get rehab. You can go meet up. We have coaches here as well. Like there's a running back coach here who teaches us a lot of things. And then, yeah, we left at 2 o'clock. Yeah, we left at 2 o'clock. And then after our lift is basically our day. We have dinner to go. So yeah, it's pretty solid day. I mean, it's nothing crazy. Like I've heard guys like their schedule has been 6 in the morning to dang near 6 evening. Like yeah, so it's been crazy. But my schedule it's been a pretty solid schedule. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I think
And
this
you're at the
place
beach too, so you know, get
I am
that as well.
here, so I have a nice beach ocean view in the back of me. So
Nice.
it's nice. And then yeah, this place is really big on rehab, so that's one of the main reasons my agent wanted me to come here, just because the amount of stretching mobility we're gonna do every day. Like we'll probably stretch 3 times a day, like different
Wow.
sessions for
Wow.
like a straight. But yeah, it's pretty awesome, just being able just to continue to just trust this process and buy into it. I think that was the main thing, learning from you know, my speed coach here. He's been telling me like, yeah, there's guys who like don't take it seriously, and then
Hmm.
when they get the combine, they see guys over there flying, like moving, and then they're trying to ask, and they're trying to ask questions last minute, like trying to like you should have been doing this while you were training, like you should have been bought in. That's the main thing that I learned, is being able to buy in and just trust what the coaches have to say. And yeah.
Yeah, the combine doesn't sound like something you can last minute study for. That's
Yeah.
have there been any? I know you said you talked to some guys down at the Hulu Bowl, and obviously while you've been doing this training, with some guys you've been talking to. Has there been any specific teams that have expressed interest, or right now is it just kind of see how it goes?
I mean, yeah, I talked to probably 22 teams.
Wow.
And probably out of those teams, there was probably three, or wait, yeah, around three that I was really interested. I mean, the Packers, um, the Broncos, the Niners. Those
Hey,
are really.
that would work. I said you could stay a Bronco. You've already got all the gear since they, use our trademark logo that we allow them to do. It'd be a perfect swap.
I mean, yeah, I don't care where I go. Honestly, I just need an opportunity just to, just showcase my skills and what I can do.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for wherever I go. Hopefully it's not too cold, because I already, but I can't deal with the cold. But still, like, hopefully somewhere good weather too. I can lie.
So what is, you're going through this training process. Obviously, I think Boise State holds their own pro day. I assume that are you gonna go back up there for that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna be there testing for sure. Um, seeing how I'm perform. I mean, coming here, my entry time for different tests obviously is not what I wanted, but it's good that just to have that time to look at, and then where I'm gonna work towards, and hopefully get it way better than those times. And yeah.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, hey, George, thank you so much for coming on here and doing this discussion. We really got to have a great insight into your time at Boise State and what that journey was like, and then this incredible 2023 season. I just wanted to express obviously on behalf of myself, thanks for coming on, but on behalf of Bronco Nation in general, thank you so much for what you did for us at Boise State, and for the personality, not just on the field work, but you always brought that blue collar working every single day, and that humble attitude that Boise State players are known for. You really made Bronco Nation proud at Boise State, and we're sure you will do at the next level, wherever you end up going from here. So thank you so much for coming on, George. We're praying for you as this process continues. Thanks for coming on and doing this. It was a great discussion.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Go Broncos.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks, everybody, for watching and being part of this. This has been a great discussion. Like I already said, there's a lot to look forward to for 2024. And this 2023 season, there was a lot of great things to look back on and remember. And so I'm glad we got to be able to bring both those topics together into one. So thanks, everybody, for staying with us. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about this video. And thanks again, George, for coming on. As always, go Big Blue!